So Larry got here early. I'm so tired. Larry got here early and started interviewing people because he's feeling motivated because he's shockingly sober.
Yeah, what is with that?
And Denise too.
So much energy.
Even though he randomly almost got put into a club yesterday. What happened with that? You just kind of walked into a club.
I did. I was walking into a club.
Screw you, I'm drunk Larry.
It wasn't until the bouncer noticed I had sweats on. He goes, I can't let you in with the sweats. So I had underneath there these shorts. I went, what about some nice khaki shorts? If I just, I'll take the sweats off. But no, you guys dragged me out of there. I totally wanted to see what was happening in the club. You know? No.
You were totally going to get murdered, dude.
I'm here with...
my name is Tam.
And Tam, what is your company name?
Tam with We Big Games.
We Big Games. Okay, now We Big Games has a new product out, or its first product out actually, right? It's your first product. What is the product?
The product is called Lair. It's flying away, but it's alright.
We got it.
It's a base building strategy game in a small box. It's a worker placement, Euro style kind of game. The theme is you're a henchman in a Bond style evil villain base building kind of scenario. You are building the big boss's base and you are backstabbing each other in completing this base.
Okay, so you're not playing as the big boss, you're actually playing as the boss's henchmen.
That's correct.
And the henchmen are going against each other.
Yes.
Okay, how many players are
It's 2 to 4 players.
2 to 4, alright. And at playtime?
Playtime about an hour and a half, depending upon the number of players. So it actually plays like a full box game, board game, where you're using cards to lay down the board. So it expands into a decent sized play area.
Alright, so yeah, so as you're playing it, each player's playing on cards. The playing field gets larger and larger as you go.
That's correct.
Alright, real quick, so is this now in production yet, or is this a kickstart, or?
This is the final prototype, and we are either going to self-publish or we are going to kickstart. Or if I find a publisher that might want to publish this, then that's also a possibility.
Excellent, excellent. Again, one of our friends has gone the kickstart and self-publish route, so it's not a bad way to go. All right, instructions. Simple, hard. I mean, what's the learning curve?
I would say it's medium. It takes about 5-10 minutes for me to explain the game, but there's a lot of strategy that will come evident as you play longer. So medium size.
All right. Questions, Larry?
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I've done a few of these things. Okay, we do have.
Did you do the art yourself?
I do the design, but I have a great illustrator who's working with me. He did all the character arts, all the rooms. There are about 15-20 unique rooms on each card. Each room has a special ability that you can perform with the workers.
Right. So I'm going to just, and we'll hopefully link to pictures of these. We'll get some more pictures of it later. But you've got rooms like the sewers, the ever popular command port. That's really cool. A submarine port. Command center. I'm reading ahead. Missile silo.
Shark Tank.
Wait.
There is a Shark Tank.
Of course there's a Shark Tank.
Awesome.
Gotta have a Shark Tank, okay? They've got a Shark Tank.
Lasers?
There need to be
Well, that's an accessory later on.
I was gonna say,
This is just the rule.
Do you get to put lasers on their freaking head?
Well, not this version, maybe an expansion.
There you go. That could be an
The lasers on the freaking head. Expansion. I like that idea.
Okay.
Ill-tempered car.
So, okay, we know that you're building, which is why you put this room here and this room over here, so it builds out, and you're the worker. What's the sort of goal? How do you win?
Well, the goal is to get the big boss's favor. That's your points, and you get points by building the rooms.
Okay.
And the person who gets the most points to reach a certain amount of points, it's kind of a race, so you get the most points to win.
All right. What kind of sabotages can one player do to another?
There are actions like the throne room, not the throne room, the torture chamber, which allows you to take away some of these actions, for instance. Shark Tank in order to take away other people's workers, dismiss them from the...
So if I build that room, I get something else to happen.
When you build that room, it unlocks the ability of that room for you or other players to use. So you have to make your workers and then
So I could lay down a room that I'm thinking, I'm going to use, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're laying it down on me. That's
But you do get first dibs at the power for building that room. But then other players might get in and
do the same back. Okay, that's a cool idea. I like that. That's a nice little twist on that. Any questions for him?
Yeah, do you guys like local to the Boston area or?
no, I'm from New York.
Okay. Because I saw a big game card when you're playing it.
Oh yeah, I come here quite often, so it is actually a Boston reference. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that's a nice touch too. Keep it local that way. All right. So this is a game that will be you expected to be out by.
Mid next year, probably.
We will be definitely having some links on our site to this. We will have this video up, and you should look for this mid next year. You said mid next year. It'll be available online. Are you going to try to actually get it out to the store?
Just a store.
All right, so it will actually be available at your local game store, hopefully, depending on when it comes out and how local your game store is to you. Like our game store is really local, hyper local. Should we do a hyper local reference?
Yes, hyper local reference.
All right, so pleasure with it's been a pleasure doing this interview today, Tab. We're done.
Hi, this is Travis Dunk with Guys, Games, and Beer, and I'm here with
Sam Liberty from Spoiled Flesh Games,
and here's here to talk about.
talking about GraveRobber's Dilemma and Clusterfight.
Oh, wait a minute, Clusterfight, that name right there. Okay, I mean, we have enough issues.
Cluster you were in earlier.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have issues enough already. Put the name Cluster and F and anything, and that pretty well describes the show.
So, if you want to give us a quick rundown of GraveRobber's Dilemma real quick.
Sure. GraveRobber's Dilemma is the game that I have in the showcase today. Basically, it's competitive grave robbing. Story is, old lady dies, buried with her $3 million necklace. Every creep in town starts stocking up on shovels. There are security measures at the graveside. They have dogs, they have cameras, and they have these thick tombs. And to get through it, you need stakes for the dogs, you need flashlights to blind the cameras, and you need shovels in abundance for the tombs. So it's got this action programming thing going on where if you have good ESP, you can psych out your opponent, and like your programming actions, you're trying to dig when no one else digs because you would spook each other and you drop your shovel and leave. But it's the whole thing is deception. There's deception, there's mind reading, and there's grave robbing. So
I like the grave robbing. I'm good with that.
About how long is the playtime on this game?
really short. It's like 5 to 10 minutes. It has like a built-in timer because it's a short deck that if it runs out, everyone loses. But the cool thing is, every time you play it, you can use a different set of actions that completely changes up the dynamic of how you're getting at these.
Does everybody get their like a set of action, like a little action deck, or
You have a hand of 7. Okay. Everyone has the exact same 7.
Okay.
So I know everything that's in your hand.
so you kind of narrow it down once as they play?
Yeah.
Kind of say play it out. Yeah.
And on your turn, you play 3, and then you execute them in the order you played them. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna get stake, I'm gonna get flashlight, and I'm gonna dig.
So what was the inspiration behind a grave robbing game? I know I'm actually just a really quick side story. In high school, I had a couple of really close friends who decided to
Who robbed a grave?
No, they came up with their own clothing line. They were screen printing in our art class in high school, and they called it Necroware. It was basically a guy with a shovel pulling you could see a hand coming out of the grave, and their slogan was "Do what you dig." And that got shut down. They made like $500 a week, and it got shut down by the teachers. Like at the end of the week, they had to like hand over all the money, like because they were using school supplies to make all these like hats and shirts, and like people started wearing them at school. So it was just really, really good. So what gave you the inspiration?
So believe it or not, this is a super top-down design. I actually read a news article about a woman that was buried with a valuable necklace.
Okay.
And they put security at the grave, and I was like, that's a game.
Yeah, right?
That has to be a game.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like very, very weird. Like, yeah, if I said, like, it's like, it got to be easy to get into a graveyard. I mean, so it was like, hey, for a few $1 million, I might consider questioning my morals for a little bit. So I would definitely like to play that out as a board game. So about how long is it, or in the development cycle, about how far along is it?
It's play tested. It's in great condition. But what I like to do is get games perfect and then not do anything with them. So it's on the road to nowhere. But hope maybe I'll send it to some publishers. Maybe
see where it goes.
See,
Will you self-publish?
I've thought about it. I have people that have played it and like I want to publish this, but I'm just a person. I'll put it on a Kickstarter. It's like I can do that myself. But
you'll know when it's ready.
Exactly.
It's like it's your brainchild. You're kind of like it's like this is the time that it's time to send it out to the world and let it do its thing.
But we did Kickstart Clusterfight, and that's already out, and that's already going good.
If you wouldn't mind talking about Clusterfight a little bit, I had not heard about it.
Clusterfight is the game of hypothetical battles. So it answers life's deepest questions, like who would win if Magneto and Darth Vader got in a fight.
Okay.
So it's a party game for geeks.
All right.
It works similar to Apples with a judge mechanic, except instead of playing the thingiest thing, you're playing who you think would win in a big battle royal among everyone's fighters.
The ultimate showdown.
And then you get to explain how they would win?
Yes, you explain how they would win, and there's a secret bet, and then you get to play a twist card that changes your fighter.
Changes the fight.
So it's like, all right, Darth Vader is vomiting uncontrollably in his helmet, and like.
I do have to say this is a very, very neat idea because I cannot express the amount of times I've sitting down with a flip chart and a pen, and we've sat down for a couple of hours, like listing out brackets of imaginary fighters. And I know you guys out there have done it too, so don't lie. I know it's a little embarrassing, but we've all been there. It's okay.
It's the game you've all been playing your entire life.
Yeah, right? So
thank you.
It's a little easier to structure now, and you're not going to have to think of these things on the fly. So, get your beers, get your fighters, and put them together.
It goes great with beer.
So, besides these fictional battles, I mean, is there is it just mostly comic book video games, or
Well, it's a good mix. We actually spent an insane amount of time curating a list of fighters because we wanted most people to actually sit down and play it. If there's a nerdy, obscure character, it's going to be the most popular nerdy, obscure character from that comic. Okay. So you have your Picard, you have your Kirk, people know those characters. You have Professor X. The X-Men are huge. People have seen it. We don't do the deep cuts to get your nerd cred because you know about Dog.
And then nobody else does.
Yeah,
right.
So we try to get the most noticeable people, and we also have people like Oprah, and so they're all going to mix it up.
Can you give me a couple examples of twists? Because I think that's what really want to add to the replayability of the game.
It's definitely the most fun part when you're laying out those twists. You can give a character T-Rex arms, you can give him wheels instead of legs, you can arm him with a really big rock or a tank, you can switch the battleground to a humongous lily pad, you can, there's all kinds of crazy crap that happens. But my favorite might be vomiting uncontrollably, because no matter who's doing it, it's funny.
Yeah, right.
The Hulk vomiting uncontrollably is hilarious.
Right. Or Superman, it's power vomiting.
Right.
So
Right.
So that came out when?
That came out. Actually, we released it at Gen Con.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was at Gen Con just a few weeks ago, and
I was the Game Salute.
okay, cool. So if anybody wants to check out the progress on,
Dilemma?
Yeah.
GraveRobber's Dilemma?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can go to spoiledflushgames.com, or you can follow us on Facebook. We use our Clusterfight page to kind of coordinate our other projects. I'm on Twitter. I'll give you my Twitter.
Do you also, I take it you sell Clusterfight on the site as well?
Yep.
Okay, great.
All right. And is Clusterfight available anywhere besides your site or just on your site?
Some retailers are carrying it. We're actually selling it inside right now at the Game Makers Guild booth.
So go travel back in time, come this year, hook you up with a beer, and you can buy Clusterfight.
If you can travel,
If you can time travel this.
How much is Clusterfight?
Clusterfight's $35, and expansions are a little on top.
And how many players does it support?
It supports 3 to 12.
Okay, so nice big party game. You get everybody over. Nobody gets,
You got a tag.
everybody's
You
included.
got a tag team for the big games.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
you.
I appreciate it.
One more time, your website is?
SpoiledFlushGames.com.
All right.
Hey, this is Travis again with Guys, Games, and Beer, and I am really excited to be here with Patrick, and he's going to be talking to us about Mech Deck. I saw a little blurb on their site, and as the mech junkie that I Sam, I had to know more, so we bludgeoned him with a club and dragged him here so we could do a little interview with us and talk a little bit about Mech Deck. Would you mind giving us a little rundown of what that is?
I'd love to. The game, it's a modular miniatures robot combat game where you assemble the robot at the beginning of the battle. There's currently 32 parts in the game, all unique abilities, and you build your robot at the beginning of the battle, and then you place them out on the battlefield and fight. And as you fight, you actually knock parts off of your opponents. So you're actually blowing up your opponents as you're playing instead of marking down on a character sheet how much damage you're taking. So it's a very visual representation of the damage you're doing as you go.
Nice. So as you knock these parts off, they lose that ability at that point, correct? So can you target abilities?
There's
is it fairly
there's a
random?
couple, there's a special card that allows you to target, but normally it's the defender's choice for
Okay.
those.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you're saying this is modular. So basically, are you just picking from the deck? I hadn't really seen. I hadn't been able to check out the demonstration or anything. Are you actually going to be planning to do custom miniatures, where you actually build parts
That's
from
what
that?
the prototype is right
Okay,
now.
cool.
So I CAD modeled and 3D printed all the little
fantastic.
robot parts, and you actually stick the arms into the little slot and the legs in and the backpack.
Yeah, seriously, that takes it to a whole other level. Being able to actually see the parts of it, really kind of puts you into the game a little more. So
You lose that gun. Thank you.
about how long is a play session?
The whole game is very modular. So you can play a 2-player game, and you can do randomized robot picks, or you can do draft style. So I've had draft style picks with me and some of the co-creators that took 15 minutes, as opposed to a big 6-player game taking 2 hours. So it's completely up to the players how long they want to play for.
So yeah, and obviously I will not go into any detail on how big of mech junkies we are, but what are some of the inspirations you got for mech wise? What do you kind of style?
I played a ton of Mech Warrior and BattleTech growing up. I love those games. We never really played the role-playing side of it. We always just made robots and hammered them against each other in a battlefield. So I took a lot of inspiration from that, and I played a lot of Magic the Gathering growing up, and D&D and all that stuff too. So I just kind of picked and chose my favorite aspects of all these different games and tried to make my own, what I would want to play.
Is this your first game?
Yes.
Nice. So, okay, so you said working with some other people on this. There are some co-creators?
Yeah, I've come up with all the rules and mechanics, and I do all the CAD modeling and engineering of the parts, the little minis themselves. But I've had graphic design help in talks with an illustrator right now. I don't know if you saw the little iPad display of the little character art I have right there. We only have that one piece so far, but I really like her style. Her name is Tony Bell. You should all check her out. She's an awesome artist. So some help, mostly me so far, but I'm looking for more help as well. This is a big project, and it's going to take a lot of
sounds
money.
really ambitious, but
It's very ambitious, but so far I've gotten tons of awesome feedback.
No, yeah, it's the modularness and being able to put together your own. It sounds really cool. I mean, I've definitely in other games. So, for example, we play a lot of Mech Force. So you can kind of customize a base model, things like that. But being able to build from the ground up seems like a lot of fun. It's just as fun probably as playing the game.
Yeah, it is really fun. Yeah, there's the whole tactics part of the game that's really fun, but then also just the toy value of the miniatures is in themselves.
What controls which parts you can have? Are some parts
Just
more valuable?
Kind of what parts are open on that piece. So normally it's a torso, 2 arms, legs, and a backpack. But then again, there's one torso that has 4 arm slots and no backpack slot. So, and I kind of balance out how much power you have to spend on your turn for that guy. Might have a little less power, but he has more options. Whereas this other robot might have more power, but it's slower. So there's little things like that. Normally it's just 5 parts.
So, I mean, you've been playtesting it over this weekend. Has there been any big steps you think you're going to take before you kind of release it to the public and try to get it out there? Or?
Yeah, well, I'm planning on Kickstarter eventually, but there's a lot of planning, especially with all the miniatures. Miniatures are always a beast to manufacture, so I got to get down injection molding and all that stuff. I need better art direction as a whole, so I'm looking for graphic designer help, working with this illustrator, like I was saying, narrowing down how the game really looks. Once it looks really nice and pretty, then we're going to bring it to Kickstarter. Once we have all the manufacturing down, that's where we can go from there.
So, if anybody's interested about checking out updates about the game, or kind of see how things are going along, is there anywhere they can check you out right away?
There's mechdeck.com. It's just a splash page at the moment, but that will change pretty soon, hopefully. But then we're also on Twitter, just Mech Deck, hashtag Mech Deck or whatever. And then It's Facebook/Mech Deck as well. And we are on Board Game Geek as well, but it's a very bare bones page at the moment.
I will be linking to all those obviously as well. And as I see more, obviously I want to be sharing it around because I mean, there's very few mech things that I won't be talking about. So,
Just a quick question. You said 6-player game, about 2 hours. Is 6 max on this, or is it?
The game is completely modular, so if you were to buy 2 or 3 copies of it, you could have a giant battlefield.
Just a free-for-all.
Yep. It's as small
You like
or as
that
large as you want.
That's got potential.
It's got nice visions to it.
Yeah, and like I have a lot of expansion ideas floating around in the back of my head, so this could go on.
So it's basically an arena combat, right?
Yeah, skirmish, definitely.
So
We have an off the camera question apparently.
Are there legs with crotch slots?
No, not currently. But if you donate enough on
woke up
Kickstarter,
for
we can
that.
talk.
Expansion
Is that the robot jock
he's
reference?
making the robot jock. You know he's making a robot jock.
I love that movie back then.
Thank you.
I want to point out that Nectarline woke up to say that.
so is there anything else you want to mention about the game for anybody who might be listening?
No, not really. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm still getting it out there, working on it.
Sounds good. Well, I'm really excited to hear more from it and kind of see how it pans out. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to build my own decks and trash these guys.
No, you going down.
All
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Again, thank you for the great interview, and we're out.
Really? Come visit us at www.guysgamesandbeer.net. Win free games on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer.